Making Room for Growth, and welcome. I know it's a little bit later than it was on the previous evenings. I've had a very busy day, but I said I was going to do this, and so here I am doing it. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are on Instagram, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here. If you are on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, let me know that you're here. Say hello. Post something in the comments. If you join in on the replay, then post replay. And if you are in Clubhouse, then say hi and let me know that you're here as well. So tonight we're talking about having room, making room for growth in your life and in your business. And this is very important because a lot of times we're talking about going to the next level, we're talking about expanding, we're talking about doing great things. And sometimes we don't pay attention to what's necessary to get to that next place. So, like every other night previously, I'm going to give you some encouragement on how to do this, what I believe and what I have experienced um, is necessary to get to that next place. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to me. I am Makita Rodriguez, and I'm a coach, consultant, and digital agency owner. My business is Redword Host LLC, and you can find that at redwordhost.com. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can also find me everywhere as Mrs. Makita Rod. So, as we are growing in our lives and as we are making room in our businesses, there are certain things that we have to do. Things that sometimes we absolutely avoid when things can feel overwhelming. But in order to get to that next place, we have to be very intentional about what it is that we want and how we want to get to that next place, okay? So, what is it that we must do? The first thing is that we must be clear. We must be clear on what it is that we are desiring, right? We must be clear on what it is that we want. We must be clear on our expectations. We must be clear on the desire to even go to another place. That is the first thing we have to do. We need clarity. We cannot be confused because, a confused mind just really does not take any action. It stays stuck and is immovable. So we want to make sure that we have clarity as we are trying to progress and move forward. One of the things that I think about when it comes to like making room for growth, and I thought about this as I was, thinking about this particular topic is, when you're trying to go, when you have a bunch of food in your refrigerator and everyone has been eating and there's leftovers and, you went grocery shopping already, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, and now it's time to replenish. Before you can do anything else, there are certain things that you have to do in order to make room. And this is kind of the process that I want you to think about, right? I want you to think about how you want things that are refreshed. You want things that are new. You want things that are going to fulfill you, right? That are going to make your journey healthy and happy and enjoyable. So I want you to think about this. As you are making room, you also think about your need for you have to prioritize. You have to determine exactly what it is that you need and what's most important and what's not. And as you're doing this, it's important that you take note, right? We talked about being clear. We talked about considering exactly what it is that you want. And when you're thinking about prioritizing, now there may be certain things that you may want, but that you can't exactly apply or go for at this time. So you have to say, okay, this is number one on my list. This is the number one thing that I'm going after. This is the number one thing that I want. Maybe there's 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 things that you can actually go after at this time. Yeah, I may hear my dog. She's sleeping and it sounds like she's having a dream, but there may be 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 things that you can actually go after at this time. But it's important that you have your priorities in order, right? And this is going to be a shifting as you are moving into and progressing into a new area. I have recently seen a lot of people say that they don't believe work-life balance is possible. And they're saying it's because you cannot have half work and half life. And what I've been trying to encourage people to do is to think outside of the box, to really understand that work-life balance is not about having half of your life centered on the work and half of your life centered on your personal life. It is about a balancing act. It's going to look different every single day. It's going to look different in every single season of your life and of your business. But what's important is that you find balance, that you are seeking to have a sense of balance in everything that is happening. And that's where that prioritizing comes in place, right? And I give like tonight as an example. Tonight I'm on here kind of late, but there is a prioritizing that's happening. And when this is over, then I'm going to do something with my family. So, you have to just kind of determine what's important, and you have to look at rearranging things to make certain goals achievable at specific times in your life and in your business. And so the next thing we're talking about is getting rid of things. Like I mentioned, when you are, I'm using grocery shopping and refrigerator as an example because I think we can all relate to that. But when you decide that, you're going to go grocery shopping and you have leftovers in the refrigerator, or maybe some things that you don't want anymore, some empty bottles of sauce and stuff like that, you have to get rid of some stuff in order to make room for more. You have to throw some things away. Maybe you're going to buy some containers that are bigger. And you have to think about this as you are building, as you are growing, as you are expanding. You have to consider that you have to make room in your life and you have to make room in your business for the things that you are bringing in, which means you have to get rid of some things. There's some things you cannot do, some things that you cannot participate in, some things that you're going to have to say no to. And I personally know this because there have been times where I've had to say no to some things and some people. And it's not always a fun experience, but it is definitely something that we have to choose to do and be very intentional about. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to say no to these things for the rest of your life, but it does mean that it may be no for a time. No until you grow, no until you get to that next place, no until you have expanded and are at that next level where you want to be. Okay, so the next thing is setting your expectations. So I talked about being clear, talked about prioritizing, I talked about getting rid of things. But as you're growing, where exactly is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to experience? What is your expectation? What are you looking forward to, right? And one of the reasons why this is important is because I talk a lot of times about celebrating your wins. And sometimes if you don't know where you're wanting to go, you won't be able to celebrate when you get there. You won't even know when you get there. You'll bypass that next place, and you can even make yourself feel bad because you feel like you're not accomplishing anything. But it's because you're not taking note of where you expected to be and where you are. Or maybe you haven't celebrated what you've already done or where you've already been. So when you set your expectations, when you write down your expectations, your desires, when you think about what it is that you want, then when you get to that place, then you can celebrate it. And not only that, but the journey. You can begin to ask yourself if you are on the right path as you are on the journey, if you know what your expectation was, right? So what do I mean? I mean, if you plan to, let's say you have a specific income goal, and you're trying to reach that specific income goal within the next 90 days, but it seems like you're just not hitting it. Well, you have to know what that income goal was. Was your income goal 10,000? Was your income goal 30,000? Was your income goal 60, 90,000? What was your income goal, right? And some people may even have a $5,000 or $2,000 income goal. But if you don't have an expectation of exactly what it is, and you just say, I just want to increase my income, well, when someone pays $200 or $500, you can automatically say that you hit that expectation, but that's not real. That's not your level of success if that's not what you set for yourself. So it's very important that as you're looking to grow and you're looking to expand, you're looking to be better, you're looking to get to new places in your life and in your business, that you have established some sort of expectation as to what it is that you want, so that as you incrementally get to those next places, you can celebrate. You can see that you're doing better. And then if you're not hitting your goals, right? If you're not hitting your expectation, then you can adjust. You can determine, okay, maybe I'm not reaching out to enough people. Maybe the wording on my sales page is not clear. Maybe I need to go back and rethink my product. Maybe I need to check my messaging. Whatever it is that you're working on. I'm being specific about business right now, but this can happen in many different areas of our experience, whether it be life or business. So you want to just kind of pay attention to your expectation. And the next thing is you want to start with the new. Start with the new. Actually give yourself some new things to do, new things to try, new ways to think, new people to listen to, new books to read. You want to have sort of a refresher as you are growing and expanding. You want to have a refresher. You want to be able to pour into yourself newer things, have newer experiences. Now, it doesn't mean that everything has to be new. It doesn't mean you have to completely wipe the slate clean and, just everything has to be completely new. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you do want to give yourself something new to look forward to, something challenging, something new to try, right? Some new type of encouragement. And it could be the same thing, but just being shared in a different way, able to push you and to motivate you into a new space. Or if you're working with the same leader, maybe they're putting a spin on that new message that you're giving you, or that they're giving you, or that new push that they're giving you, right? I'm just saying, as you're going through this, you're looking for growth. And there's a saying, if you're not growing, then you're dying. And so that means that if you are wanting to grow, you have to have a newness being given to you, a refresher. And so you want to be looking for that. You want to be putting one foot in front of the other and taking new steps into new territory, challenging yourself to do newer things, right? I'm looking over here at my notes because I did write some down. As always, I try to make sure that I have my notes so I stay on topic for the conversation. And my last tip was to be willing to experiment as you grow. I say that because I think I mentioned the other day that as you are growing and you're expanding and you're learning, right? I'm leading into my mic. As you're learning, you're expanding, you're growing, you're doing new things, you have these expectations. Sometimes we can limit ourselves. We can feel like, you know what? I don't want to try anything new. This is out of my comfort zone. I'm just going to stick with what I know. And even in the newness, there's certain things that I want to do. But I want to tell you that when you decide that you're going to experiment and you're going to try that new thing, then new things happen, right? And this is where you and even I begin to grow as individuals. We begin to change and to be challenged and to see different facets and perspectives of ourselves because we are walking in the newness and experimenting with new things, learning on the job, as I mentioned yesterday. And sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you just have to learn along the way. So that's what I wanted to encourage you on tonight was, as you're going and you're taking it day by day with this whole experience of life and business, that you make room for growth and expansion. And the things that I shared just as a quick recap are that you become clear on, have clarity, that you prioritize, that you get rid of some things, that you set your expectations, that you start with the new, and that you begin to allow yourself to experiment as you grow. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you were live, then thank you so much for being here. But also, if you join me on the replay, then post replay. Let me know that you were here. Share your thoughts, comments, and concerns. And if you would like to connect with me, if you have any questions or anything, I'm on every platform as Mrs. Makita Rod. And share this with someone that may find it encouraging. So thank you so much for joining me again. I hope to see you soon. Take care. I hope this was helpful. Bye.